everyone. Welcome to Airship. Okay, so let's get started. It's just going to be a very short webinar today with, the main focus on what kind of exam patterns, more so the written examination pattern can we expect in the IndiGo and the Air India written exam. And what is there to offer from our side at Airship? What kind of website do we have? I'll just take you a quick sneak peek into our website, which covers all these topics in details. We've already uh, churned out quite a few batches from last year, which is specifically for uh, Indigo's written examination preparation for both CPL holders and A320 type-rated guys. Okay, so I'll just gonna be sharing my screen. So as you can see here on the topic, we'll be talking about the written test patterns. Okay, and just a quick run through of what kind of examination patterns which have been coming lately since the last vacancies that Air India had come up with, and also Indigo. Okay, so very quickly, this is just going to be a half an hour session. There's nothing much to dwell deeper. However, whatever part that we are going to talk is quite critical, and more so, I'll try and make a lot of sense of whatever I speak by taking you through a small, maybe just a 5-minute tour on our website as well. Okay, so these are the topics for discussion that we'll be talking today. And yes, before that, guys, uh, just a quick short introduction about myself. Due to the restrictions put on by my organization, I will not be able to share my face or my name. Um, that is I'm just trying to be in line with what my company expects out of me. When I say my company, I don't mean to say Airship. I mean to say the company that I fly for. Okay, so I've been in aviation from the last 18 years. I've flown both the Airbuses and the Boeings. I've currently have more than 10,000 hours of total experience, with more than half of them being PIC. So you're talking to someone who's reasonably experienced, who has been there from almost 1.5 decades, and I quite clearly understand the nitty-gritties of Indian aviation. I've seen the time back in 2005 and 6 when I had come in to today. So a lot has changed, and therefore, the requirements have changed, the preparations have changed, and what are expected out of the candidates. A lot of these things have changed. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, so we are going to talk about just a quick thing on are you all ready to take the next step in your aviation career? Your written test structure for both Indigo and Air India, subjects breakdown, quite standard subjects, general common mistakes which a lot of people end up making. How can you prepare yourself? Okay, how can we at Airship assist you for both the guys who are not type rated towards their CPL preparation for airline written exam, and the guys who are type rated P20? How can Airship be of assistance to you? And in the end, our contact information. All right. So while you understand that today we are in a market where we don't have a khichdi of airlines. When I mean to say we don't have a mix of various airlines. Today we are in a monopolistic market. Okay, it's almost a duopoly more than a monopoly. It's a duopoly. You have a significant chunk of operations which are uh, operated by Indigo, and at the second rank you have almost a 30% share or slightly over 30% share of Tata Group of airlines. Okay, so which includes your Air India Express, and the other one being Akasa. My apologies, the other one being Indigo. So you cannot help but consider aviation, the field of aviation in the same term as talking about Indigo or Air India. So that's why we are only restricting ourselves to talking about Air India and Indigo, because these are the airlines which are going to be frequently coming up with more vacancies in the weeks to come, in the months to come, much more than what Akasa would be coming up with. And these are also the airlines which have been, as recent as about 6 months back, were actively recruiting as well. So why it is important securing a pilot job with Indigo or Air India? The written tests for both Indigo and Air India are your first major hurdle in the hiring process. Okay. So once you clear it, then there are subsequent steps like in Indigo, all those guys who must have given these exams before Once you clear the written exams, then you are required to show up for something called as adapt. Okay, then there are multiple stages, multiple tests which check your personality, your psychometric ability, your analytical skills. Once you do all that, then you go for your GD, and lastly followed by your PI. In Air India, the patterns have been changing. The most last, the most recent pattern which was there in the recruitment of 2023 end was, you are required to show up for a written examination. Once you clear the written examination, then you would go directly for the PI. Once you clear the PI, then you are required to go for the simulator almost on the same day. Uh, you know, then you're required to go on the simulator almost on the same day. Until 2023 in Air India, they were not having any psychometric test or any GD. Okay, so Air India Express's pattern is slightly different. Air India Express had come for with a vacancy after a long time, and the only difference between Air India Express and Air India was Express had introduced something called as a compass test. Okay, so what is adapt for Indigo is compass for Air India Express. There's not much of a difference. Okay, but all these steps, they only come after you clear the most significant one, which is your written examination, where a lot of people end up getting filtered. Okay, so the primary reason of this, why a lot of people end up getting filtered is the lack of preparation, or more clearly, if I can put it, is not knowing, you know, what exactly to prepare. So whatever you know, you're preparing it thoroughly, but the exam patterns have changed. Like Air India had come in with a rude shock for most of the candidates back in 2022 and 23, when they started asking questions about what does, for all those who are 320 type rated, they'll understand what I'm saying. What does a layer one information, a layer two information, or a layer three information in the FCOM means? Okay, they would give you a question with the page marking, and the page marking in the 320 FCOMs, they have got arrows denoting on both sides as well. So they would just simply cut, copy, paste that figure as a question, and then they would ask you, what does the arrow on this page marking mean? So why was it a shock? Because generally, what's the expectation? If even if I was to prepare today, let's say for a specific aircraft, I would be studying mainly what are the systems in that aircraft, what is the automation, what is the protection, okay, what are the limitations, what are the memory items. Never would I ever expect that I need to also understand what does a particular page marking mean, what is the meaning of the header? What is the meaning of the footer? So when Air India started asking these questions back in 2022, the first few batches, the failure rates were very high because people were just not expecting these kind of questions. So this is what significantly changed from 2022 with respect to Air India. All right, so let's move on. So what you'll learn with us here at Airship is you'll understand what's the latest written test pattern for IndiGo and Air India, discover the key subjects, what are the structure, what should be the focus areas. You can learn how to approach your studies to maximize your chances of acing these exams. We have been conducting these classes from last year. It's been almost more than close to around 2 years that we have been conducting these examinations, and we have a more than 95% success rate. Okay, so here, yeah, so this is largely the test format. Again, with a disclaimer that things change with every session. Air India significantly changed their examination pattern back in 2022. So what you see on the screen is not something which is sanctum sanctorum, that it's not going to change tomorrow. This is what it exists as of today. Okay. So what it exists as of today is, and this is largely for both Indigo and written examinations, largely you get 60 questions. Okay, so if it's a CPL only vacancy, naturally all questions are going to be CPL. However, if it's going to be a 320 vacancy, it is going to be a mix of both 320 and CPL questions. Okay, so 60 questions for CPL, 60 questions for both type-rated candidates, a mix of 30 plus 30. 30 plus 30 is just the average that we have taken. It can always be 40, 20, it can always be 45, 15. Duration is around in a 75 minutes, 1.5 hours. Or marking scheme, again, there's no negative marking. Passing marks are typically 70%. So in Air India, back in 2022 until 2023, okay? So they also had 60 questions. The last information that I have is they had a cutoff of 54, okay, out of, yeah, they had a cutoff of 54. And the students who secured somewhere between 51 to 54, they were all put on standby and they're not been called as yet. All right, then moving on, what are the kind of topics that we can expect? Now, what you see on your screen right now is mainly for CPL. Okay, so we talk about the weather patterns, aviation meteorology in general, uh, technical general, again, aircraft systems, basics, performance calculations, principles of flight, regulations, your laws, regulations, and then your basic navigation. More specifically, I know I'll just try and touch upon a few topics. For 320 type-rated questions in Air India and IndiGo, you can expect from chapters like indicated and recording systems, IRS, where we cover specifically topics like, the PFD provides the following information such as attitude and guidance, airspeed, altitude. So what is the color coding? Uh, what is the color of V1, VR, and V2 as you see on your airspeed scale? Uh, what are the different FMGS modes? FMA, what does the column 1 represent? What does column 2 represent? What does column 3 represent? Uh, then, what are your mode reversions? What does the FWC monitor? So for all those 320 guys, they'll try and understand what I'm saying. Then we dwell deeper into various ATA chapters like FMGS. So how many FMGS are there? How many MCDU are there? What are all the functions of FAC? Now, all these questions are quite basic in nature. Air India had asked questions on these topics previously. So it's not like, uh, you know, I'm talking something which is completely out of context. They've previously asked that FMGC is divided into how many parts? So if you don't know that the FMGC is divided into flight management and flight guidance, and what does flight management take care of and what does flight guidance take care of, you will not be able to answer this. Okay. Then for CPL holders, generally, they would touch upon a bit on, let's say on in terms of meteorology, they would go into the details of what is a METAR, what is a TAF, what is the difference. Okay, in a TAF, if you have read what is a species, what does a species mean? If you read becoming, BCMG, what does becoming mean? What is the validity? When you say a trend forecast, what does a trend forecast mean? For how long does it last? Okay, they would give you a full METAR or a TAF, and then they would ask you to kind of, you'll have four options in which they may ask you to decipher or decode the date of issuance and the validity. These are the questions which were previously asked. Uh, Going a bit more, let's say, into the regulations part, they'll ask you what is the difference between a CANPA or a CDFA. How does the CDFA enhance safety? What is the primary difference between the CDFA and previously the non-precision approaches that they were conducted? Okay, so these are the kind of questions which they ask. Uh, what are the type of reversers? When we say technical general, you know, what are the type of reversers in the sense, we have the bucket type of reversers, we have the cascade or the sleeve type of reversers. So they don't, they're not gonna ask you explain what is a bucket type of reverser. Or what they'll ask you is how many type of reversers are you aware of? Or if they ask you the explanation, that is, sorry, not if, they won't be asking you any explanation in the written examinations. Okay, so these topics and for navigation, uh, don't expect any CPPNR or relative motion questions in navigation. In navigation, again, questions are quite basic in the sense they'll ask you some questions on convergency. They will ask you some questions on the 1:60 rule. They will ask you some questions on rhumb line, grade circle. They'll give you a point A to point B, and the questions would be asked in a way where they are trying to figure out whether are you aware of whether the shortest distance between 2 points is the rhumb line or the great circle, and why. Okay, and then they'll dig a bit deeper into your radio aids and your instruments. In terms of radio aids, they'll try and get back to basic CPL stuff, asking you questions regarding what is the skip distance, what is the dead space, the difference between normal VOR and the Doppler VOR, what is the frequency band, what are the difference between a primary radar and a secondary radar, an example of a secondary radar, what is a transponder, what is the interrogator part in a transponder. So these are the questions which are all technical in nature. In Air India, you can hope that a chunk of 5 to 7 questions would strictly be on the indexation of the manuals. Okay. Uh, this is for 320 guys. Indexation of manuals. So this is what I was talking about 10 minutes back. What does layer one mean? What does layer two mean? What does layer three mean? What if you have solid black boxes on the header? In the header, if you have solid black boxes on both the ends, what does it mean? So, if you have solid black boxes, then you know that this particular uh, caution or warning will also be triggered on the ECAM. If it is not there, then that means there will not be any ECAM for it. However, this is just a checklist which exists in the QRH. So things like these. Okay, then what are the common mistakes that we need to avoid? So naturally, as you can see, both IndiGo and Air India, that you require a solid understanding of core aviation topics. If you're just going to skim through the layer of these subjects, it's not going to be easy. You cannot just make a cut, because these examination patterns, with the amount of supply which is coming in the market, the screening processes and the quality of exams are only going to get tougher. They're not going to get easier. Okay. So avoid skimming through topics and make sure you understand them in depth. Keep practicing answering questions within the allotted time. That's very important. A lot of people end up knowing a lot of answers, but the problem is they get stuck on questions for far more time than what they ideally should be devoting. Okay, so very standard thing in any written examination. Please stay within your allotted time. Inconsistent revision. So you've studied once, then you haven't touched your books for the next week or 10 days or 15 days, and then you suddenly, one day woke up and you again just opened up your manual. You have already forgotten 30% of the things what you had studied about 15 days back. Don't do it. While you all are sitting at home, some of you would be employed somewhere, maybe a 9 to 5 job or whatever. There are no excuses. Just how you would be having your meal 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you need to ensure that you at least sit for 2 to 3 hours. Maybe you can pace it accordingly, almost on a daily basis, and keep doing it. Right now, the market is having a turmoil, in the sense there was this tragic crash which happened in Air India on the 12th of June. Otherwise, there's a lot of geopolitical tensions which are happening all around the world. Uh, in this year, in 2025, we haven't seen any vacancies. So this is something which is known to everyone. But that does not mean that the vacancies are not going to come. Because if you were to just, as a layman pilot, with almost more than 1,000 aircraft orders uh, placed between Air India, Indigo, and Akasa, how do you think these aircrafts are going to fly? These aircrafts are not going to come in just a matter of 6 months or one year. They are going to keep coming in for the next decade. Okay. So are, you all will always be required. It is just a matter of when does Indigo or Air India opens their door. So please don't be in a situation that the door, or rather, in a very surprising case, let's say it's not just a door, it's a it's a floodgate. What if they just simply their floodgates all of a sudden, and you are unprepared? So you would not want to be in that situation. So please, it doesn't take much. Keep reading for 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. Keep switching your subjects. If you get bored with meteorology, pick up something else. If you're bored with navigation, maybe just simply read your technical fundamentals from technical general books like Trevor Thom. Okay, so just keep reading, yeah, guys. All right, then what you see on the screen are very limited topics. Okay. Uh, when we conduct the classes, we have a the first class is a demo class with a bit of a orientation where all the required topics are also shared on the screen. They are shared with the candidates. Plus, we have a very robust and actively updated database of all the recently asked questions in the examination in Air India or IndiGo examination. So all these updated database is with the help of our students who are with us, who had gone, in these selection processes with a 95% success rate. It is based on the feedback given by them. So these guys, the moment they come out of their written examination, they provide us with all the things which were asked. So this data is absolutely updated. You'll understand more when I take you through the website. Okay, so just in the nutshell, meteorology, weather conditions, pressure systems, cloud formation, weather forecasting, all pretty standard stuff. There is no rocket science. Study how weather affects aviation operations. So when I say this second line is, nowadays the written examination, they have started to introduce those questions where try and check your pilot acumen. So now they are not just simply going to ask you what is a wind shear. Okay, because everyone knows that definition of what is a wind shear, sudden burst of air in any direction and all those, that basic, they are not interested to know that. What they are now interested to know is how does wind shear affect you? Okay, what are the threats which you as a pilot can think a wind shear can cause to your aircraft? If you know the threats, how do you plan to mitigate those threats? Now, if you know that one of the threats, arising out of a wind shear condition would be a sudden sink. So now that is a threat. So, they may ask you, "Can you kindly, out of the four options, select the most appropriate one." So what is the threat and how do you plan to mitigate it? So there will be different mitigations. You don't enter the windshield area at all if it was previously detected by your aircraft. If by mistake you've ended up entering into it, then what do? There's something called as memory actions. There is something called as evasive maneuvers. There is a particular process of carrying out a windshield go around. Okay, so they want to know that are you aware that the normal weather conditions which we encounter in our day-to-day lives, they can have safety uh, they have a sense, certain element to them which can cause a safety concern for an aircraft. So that is how the pattern of questions are changing. In air regulations, well, practically speaking, nothing much has changed. It's just that the regulations, they keep getting updated from time to time. So the latest being from 1st of July, which is after 3 days, we will be having the new FDTL, which will come into force. Okay, so now the new FDTL is flight duty time limitations. The car is already there on DGCA. Please go and read it because in the subsequent examinations, whenever they come out, and whichever airline comes up with their examinations, starting July onwards, you can expect a couple of or maybe 3 to 4 questions on the significant changes which the new FDTL is expected to bring. Okay. Then technical general topics like aircraft systems, hydraulics, reversers, brakes, flaps, flaperons, ailerons, and all these things, different types of landing gear. But again, when I'm saying all this, please don't get anxious. In airline written examinations, uh, it's not a very technical heavy exam. Now it is a very fine mix of everything. Plus here at Airship, please don't be under any impression, I would say any wrong impression that you are going to undergo a whole CPL revision type of course. No, we have absolutely tailor-made, content-driven course for each of these subjects for metrology, regulations, technical, and navigation. Now, why is it? How is it content-driven? Is based on whatever has been asked in the last few years in Indigo and Air India. We have only taken those topics because those topics have been asked in repetition again and again and again. So that really curtails your subject down to only the ones which is absolutely relevant. And then, only on those topics we commence our classes. So it's not that we are going to be wasting your time teaching you a CPPNR or practicing CPPNR or relative bearing questions. We are not going to do that because they don't ask those questions. Okay. We are not going to, let's say, dig too much deep into the beacons, marker beacons, outer marker, middle marker, inner marker, or ADF, NDB. Why? Because these, these radio aids, they have become absolutely obsolete. They are non-existent in today's scenario. So we will only skim through these topics. As in, what is the ADF? What is the NDB? What is a frequency? That is all that we will tell you. Maybe a couple of other topics, because we know that this is not very important. They are not asking you questions. But yes, GPS, we will be talking about it in detail. What is a GPS spoofing? Excuse me. What is a GPS spoofing? We will be talking about it in detail. Why is GPS spoofing important in today's scenario? Because we are seeing a lot of wars happening all around the world. Okay, the Russia-Ukraine war, the current Israel-Iran conflict, because of which a lot of these countries they install GPS jammers. Okay, and as a result, the aircraft's navigation systems they all go for a toss. So that is why it's a very hot buzzword in today's scenario. So we will be discussing more of relevant topics. What is a RNP? What is a RNAV? What is a PBN? RVSM? What is a weather avoidance technique and RVSM? So we will dedicate more time on these things instead of ADF. So when you're seeing these things on the screen, please don't have any anxiety that, oh boss, we'll have to study all over again. Is it? Then what is the point of having uh, an airline preparatory class? I would rather just go and do a CPL class. No, we are not going to do that. It is a significantly trickle down, tailor-made content. Okay, so it was impossible for us to show it on the slide, so that's why you're not seeing it over here, but I'll take you through the website. All right, then how do you prepare? Uh, Mock tests. This is something which a lot of people don't do. And nowadays, the guys are still, they're still started to believe a bit more in mock tests, but until few months back or maybe a few years back, people were only reading the content, revising, memorizing, but not doing mock tests. Mock tests are important if not for any other reason, but for one, which is you need to finish that exam within that time. There is no point of you knowing everything. You could be probably the brightest pilot in the whole world, but if you're not able to finish that exam in that given time, there is no point. You haven't cleared it. Okay. So mock test is more critical. That is my personal view. It's more critical for time management. And at the second level, yes, for revision as well. So we have a very healthy, very sorted database of questions for both CPL holders and 320 type-rated guys, both for Indigo and Air India, based on the most recent updated feedback which we have received from our colleagues in the industry and our own students who had given these exams in the last few years. Okay, so we have these mock tests. They'll help you analyze your own performance, where you can improve, and then adjust your study plan accordingly. So these are how a 320 preparatory combo can help you. So 320 preparatory combo basically is a combo of both 320 specific study material, pre-recorded classes, plus live batch, plus the mock test, as well as the same things for CPL as well. So you have CPL content, which is already available. Plus, there will be a class which will be run for CPL preparations. And we have mock tests, which include CPL questions. Okay, so it's a combo thing which is available on our website, ensuring you're ready for both the CPL exams and 320 exams. This combo provides a well-rounded approach covering aviation law, MET, systems, 320 specific training. Uh, Again, just a repetition of what we spoke last. This just a quick recap. In air regulation, master the aviation law, safety protocols, navigation gain, essential navigation, flight planning skills, 320 systems, all the ATA systems, your discussion and in-depth explanation of the abnormals from the FCTM, your QRH, your memory actions, your limitations. All right, then your emergency procedures, your dual hydraulic, green plus blue, green plus yellow primarily. Then what's your unreliable speed indication, study material, and mock tests. Okay. So with that, Yeah, so we have the 320 combo, and then we have a separate CPL recruitment technical classes also. So prepare for your CPL exams and airline recruitment with our comprehensive CPL recruitment technical classes. So again, this is for someone who is not type rated and is applying for a vacancy where they are only where the vacancy came for CPL holders only. Okay, so that is what is being mentioned over here. So, guys, that brings us to the end here. And before I, throw open the forum for questions that you may be having, I'll just take another 5 minutes maximum. I'll take you through a quick tour of our website at Airship so that you understand better whatever I told you so far. Okay, so start your journey with us. And in the end, this is our contact information that you see on the left bottom side. This is our number, this is our email and our website. I would request you all to at least take a snapshot. At the end, whoever seems to be interested and convinced can please feel free to get in touch. Okay, so I'm just going to be stopping the screen share here and take you back on our website and seek confirmation from one of you if you can see it or not. Okay, guys, so once you enroll with us, naturally you will be given access to the website and the program that you have subscribed uh, under. The all other programs you'll will be locked for you naturally. So only the one that you have subscribed with us would be available to you. Once you log in, you will be coming onto this first page. There could be a slight difference because this is the admin page. So I'm seeing a lot many other things. Uh, then you basically have to go to My Enrollments. Okay, so when you go to My Enrollments, this there are multiple courses which you will see over here, like the first one being 320 pre-type rating course. So this is not the one relevant for us today. But again, there are a few guys here who are type rated for 320s, and most of you are CPL holders. This is just a quick 1 week to 10-day pre-type rating course, which is conducted by us, which will give you a jump start before you go for your type rating. Now, you may choose to go anywhere. You may choose to go to FSTC, CAE, GTA, Indonesia, GTA, Spain, Jordan, wherever. But before you go with just a quick 1 week course, which is going to give you a jump start, how? Uh, Very short, crisp, absolutely to the point. Uh, it's like we will be hand holding you in trying to teach you that what exactly is a SOP, what are the normal procedures, what are the different scans. There is a particular layout in which you are supposed to move your arms around the cockpit so that your scans are complete. The scans are dependent on different phases. Your pre-flight, and then your before takeoff, before start, after start, before taxi, after taxi, before takeoff, after takeoff. So, how do you go about those scans? What are the memory actions? How can you practice your memory actions? So all these things are generally taught in this particular pre-type rating course because it is kind of very important. Uh, Otherwise, what happens is, all of us during our CPL times have flown Cessna 152s or Pipers or Diamonds. And now we just are, parachuted in a jet aircraft with so many screens, so many bells and whistles, all kinds of colors, so many switches that it tends to get very overwhelming. And in this sense of overwhelm, we may mostly it happens that most of us do not perform at a level that we would have otherwise performed. So this is just going to control your anxiety and your startle effect up to a great extent. Okay. Anyways, coming back, as you can see, Air India Express CPL preparatory classes. Okay. So now why are we only calling it Air India Express? Because again, based on the feedback given by the kids that these were the questions asked, we keep modifying our content. We keep modifying our questions. We keep modifying our mock tests. We have ATPL classes as well, which are being run at the moment as we speak. Mock test series. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking you to A320 preparatory classes combo. So once you click on the program that you've subscribed, you will come over here. So let's go to A320 preparatory classes. So what you will see on the screen is something like this. If you just follow the cursor with me on the right, so what you see over here are the A320 technical classes. These are all pre-recorded videos. introductory classes. Most of these pre-recorded videos were all uh, conducted by myself. It's me who had conducted them. This is not the only thing which you'll be getting. Okay, so please don't be under impression that we only have to see the pre-recorded classes and there won't be any live classes. No, there is going to be a live session as well. All your classes will be every batch. It's refreshed. This is just a pre-recorded at length explanation which is there for you to always go back to and refer. So your as you can see, introductory class, manuals, ventilation, pressurization, APU, hydraulics, door, fire protection, pneumatics, all the chapters. Now these chapters are not in absolute detail. They are only insofar as detailed as what is required from an examination point of view. Because our intention is not to drag these classes for 2 months, 3 months, and just completely squeeze the juice out of you and you're not getting any value for money. That is not the intent. Intent is for you to crack that damn exam. So if we know what was asked in the last year, last 2 years, last 3 years, what kind of questions were asked, we revolve our topics around those questions. Okay. So these videos are also the same. Then we have the study material here. So study material, let's say manuals. So as you can see, uh, what I was telling you that, in Air India, they've started to ask questions based on your headers and footers and your page markers. So very nicely, if you can see, uh, it's the content is taken from FCOM. It is modified by us, by my team, and only the relevant part, which you can expect in the examinations. As you can see, we're telling you what is an FCOM. Just a quick nutshell. What are the sections of FCOM? As you can see, again, why have I mentioned something as petty as this? Because this is not petty. This is something which was actually asked in Air India exam. Okay, so FCOM has 4 sections. These are these sections. Then what is the aircraft allocation table? They had given, uh, a row in one of the exams, and then they had asked, "What do you understand by this?" So definitions: what is a warning? What is a caution? What is note? On the right, if you can see, what is layer one? What does it mean? Layer two, layer three, and when the classes are conducted and these slides are shared on the screen, it's not just that the instructor is going to read it as it is. That is not what's happening. We will be discussing it with you. It's going to be an interactive session. The mic is going to be on unmute one by one. You can please raise your arms, discuss. That is how the classes are conducted. And this is something which I told you, right? If you have black boxes on the right, on the edges, the red boxes on the edges, if the background is white, the background is gray, what does it mean? So all these are very nicely covered. See, you see these page markings. So this is what they had asked. What do you expect? So there are some page markings which have got an arrow. You see this? If you follow the cursor, A to C, and then there's arrow to the left, there's arrow to the right. So Air India really asked these kind of stupid questions, and everyone was in for a shock. So we are covering all these things very nicely. Uh, and then let's go to aircraft general. I'll just show you a couple of them. All our documents which you see on the right are prepared in the same way. Aircraft general, what are the dimensions? We'll talk about the golden rules, how they impact us, what is something called as OEBs, what is a red OEB, what is a white OEB, and all these things. Okay, so like this, we have this content, and then we have uploaded a full FCOM and FCTM. I think it's probably Indigo's FCOM and FCTM of a few editions before. This is just in case for our kids to just come back to the website and refer to if they want to go deeper into the FCOMs, then they can do so over here. So this is how we provide the material to our students. We have pre-recorded classes, and the live classes are also going to be going on in parallel. So these videos, uh, I would have played them, but when we are having a Zoom meet, it's a backend IT glitch that if I'm conducting a Zoom webinar with you all, the video most likely will not play. Otherwise, I would have showed this to you as well. So let me try. So most likely it won't be playing, or it'll play, but it won't move. You won't see anything. Yeah, so I think you probably are not able to see anything because that's a backend IT issue. However, all these videos are all available here. 1 hour 36, 54 minutes, 1.5 hours, 1 hour 22 minutes with proper explanation. So this is what our website looks like, and Exactly in the similar way, we have CPL preparatory classes as well with the relevant topics, as you can see on the right: atmosphere, Earth and solar system and pressure, temperature, humidity, clouds, winds, TRS, air masses and fronts, and then same technical general classes, basics of aerodynamics, principles of flight, flight control and revision, propellers, jet engine. Then we got our mock tests. Similarly, topics of regulation. Okay, rules of air, hypoxia, ventilation, runway lights, aircraft rules, search and rescue, flight planning revision. So all these things are available on our website. What is the benefit of this is someone who are working somewhere, freelancing with some company. It gives you an immense amount of flexibility. If you're not able to attend your class, let's say in the morning time or at the time allotted by the instructor, you can always come back, log in, uh, and attend the classes sitting at your home. You don't need to come to Delhi for this. You don't need to spend those extra $1,000 renting a PG at Ramphal Chowk and then attending these classes. So think about it, guys. This is what is we have here, and just give me 30 seconds. I'll just get back and I'll try and tell you which are our classes running at the moment before I wrap it up, and I'll throw it open to you all. So just a quick 30-second break, and I'll just be back. All right, guys. Okay, so that brings us to the end, and I just wanted to tell you all that at the moment, as we speak, we have our CPL batch starting from the 25th of July. Okay, that's approximately 1 month, almost approximately a month from now. This is going to be a new batch for CPL preparatory classes, the one which I showed you and that we have been speaking about. The contact details which I had shared, please get in touch with my team for all those who are interested. That would be you can avail the early bird offer. Please get in touch with my team for that. And the last thing that I would like to mention is the current airline preparation type-rated batch. 320 batch, airline preparation 320 batch is already on. Only a few classes have gone by. This is mainly relevant for the guys who are type rated for both 6E and Air India, IndiGo or Air India. Just a few classes have passed by, so you can very easily cover up those classes by referring to these. And yeah, by the way, every batch, whenever live classes are conducted, they also get uploaded. Okay, it's not just the classes which you s- which I showed you. The current live classes. So let's say if there's a class which is conducted at 11 o'clock until 2 o'clock, it would be uploaded by the end of the day or maximum by the next day. Okay, so you can just cover up these few classes by watching these recordings, and then subsequently for the subs for other classes, you can be a part of it. Okay, so 25th July, our CPL preparatory batch is starting. Early bird offer is available.
I have done my type rating and I'm looking for the next batch coming 320. And
Mhm.
also, like to know, sir, are we going to uh, get any vacancy this year, or we have to still we will be waiting for the next year? Just want to
Okay,
get
Arush,
answer
are
on this.
you Arush, you're type rated?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, when did you do your type rating?
It's in uh, September, sir, month of September, like last year, 2024 September.
Okay, guys, so all of you who are type rated, yeah, please understand the date you had decided to enter into CPL and subsequently do type rating. Unfortunately, cost is a factor which you will have to keep, uh, you know, which you'll have to keep, I would say, investing in. In the sense, if you've done your type rating, you will have to keep spending that money to keep your recency. You have to keep your license renewal current. You have to keep your instrument renewal current. So just because you are not sure of when the vacancies are going to come, please don't make the mistake of not keeping your type rating current. That is my point number one. Second point, you said that you are type rated and you would want to enroll or you would want to at least consider uh, being a part of our A320 type rated airline preparation batch. So that is exactly what I mentioned. that there is a batch running. It was just recently started. So please get in touch with my team. I'll share the screen again. You can note down the number. Only a few classes have gone by, which you can easily cover by looking at the recordings. And after that, you can be a part of the live sessions. So there is a batch which is going on. And coming to the third part, which is when are the vacancies going to come up? Well, my dear friend, honestly, I'm in no position to commit to any particular data. I can only tell you, and that's exactly why I had mentioned what I had mentioned, is there are going to be close to around more than 1,000 to 1,200 aircrafts which will come in the next decade. There have been multiple cases of people known to me, and even in your friend circle, your known circle, where people must have had to wait for. There were few guys with brilliant luck who got a job in a matter of, let's say, 3 to 4 months after their CPL got issued. Then there would have also been cases where people would have had to wait for, for an year or 2 years. So this is something which I have no control over. I can only say that even if you end up waiting, even if you end up waiting, it is not going to, create any problem whatsoever, because the market itself requires so many pilots that all of you would be absorbed. It's just who gets absorbed when. So uh, keep up your hopes. Uh, don't give up. Right now, it's just a temporary pause on vacancies. It is not a long-term pause. It is not like 2008 when the recession had hit the world economy. All the recruitment across the fields had all stopped, because from 2008 until 2012, 13, for around 4 to 4.5 years, largely there were no vacancies. There were no recruitments happening in aviation. We are not going to see that time. No, we are not living in that time. The vacancies 100% will start in a matter of maximum 6 to 8 months. They have to, because the aircrafts are coming back much faster than they were previously anticipated. And on Indigo's side, not just the new aircraft which are joining, their own older aircrafts which were run by Pratt and Whitney engines, okay, which were having these in-flight shutdown issues. Most of these aircrafts are also now getting rectified with the required maintenance actions being carried on them, and they all, which were until now parked on the ground and they were not flying, they are also one by one, once a week or once in 10 days, are coming back to Indigo's network. So, which means the new orders which they have placed, they are also coming, and their own aircrafts which were parked on the ground, they are also now coming back to the skies. So, which naturally means more requirements. So, it's just a matter of 6 months max, 8 months max. This cycle will start again. So, during this time, don't lose hope. Study, enroll, prepare yourself, and have that jump start.
Yes, sir. It's a similar question, sir. I'm in the selection stages with Indigo. I gave my written in September, and then I gave my adapt in January. And since then, I've been waiting for my GD and interview, sir. I've not gotten any updates from Indigo as of now. So, do you have any idea? And so, another question is, does it make sense for me to go for my type rating now? Because I don't even know when they'll come for my GD or whatever. If it's taking more than 3 months, should I be going for my type rating in the middle of a CPL vacancy, which I am already?
See, I'm saying, see, the question, should you be going for your type rating or not? I think that's an open and shut answer. Uh, Whether you go for your type rating or should your company be doing your type rating, the answer is yes. In the event of what's been happening with Indigo, I'm not too sure. Why are they not calling people? The only thing that I can try and tell you is Air India Express also had come out with vacancies in December last year. And just a few days back, or a week or 2 weeks back, I think all the candidates who had cleared the written exam, they started receiving emails that these vacancies have been called off. Okay, this is for Express.
Yes.
Generally, generally for Indigo, I have never come across any previous vacancy where they've made a candidate wait for this long, for 6 to 8 months, without any. See, waiting for 6 to 8 months after all your stages were complete and you were given a congratulation email is a different thing. That means you are basically a part of Indigo. You are only waiting for your airline training to start. Right now, you're in the middle of selection process. So in the
Yes, sir.
middle of selection process, Indigo has never had this thing of making you wait for 6 to 8 months. If they are doing it, I'm not too very confident whether they plan to go ahead with this vacancy or not. So in this, sense of uncertainty, my suggestion is that it is absolutely, it becomes crucial enough for you to consider going for your type rating, because in today's market, if you're not type rated, the chances of you getting a job are almost negligible, unless the airline comes up with a CPL only vacancy, which is only reducing with every passing year. So if last year there were two vacancies, this year it's going to be one vacancy. Next year you'll see no vacancies at all, because airlines are moving towards cadet pilot programs, type-rated pilots. So just think about it yourself. No, if there are 500 guys who are type-rated, why would an Indigo or Air India be interested in a person who's only a CPL holder? They would
Right.
rather hire from the type-rated bunch. So type rating is a must. Should you go now? Should you go 6 months later? If you decide to do it, then I think this is really immaterial. So you might as well go now. Make your plans. Go eastwards, probably because West is, a bit disturbed. Middle East is all going crazy. You can either go to Europe, GTA, or maybe Indonesia or wherever. FSTC for all that. I mean, I'm not trying to put any recommendation. I'm not associated with any of them in any way whatsoever. Wherever you decide to go, just take a call. You can, I think you should do it, because I don't think Indigo is coming back with these vacancies. They would rather come up with a new ad altogether. And even if they do, let's say you decided to go for a type rating, or you have actually done one and now you're back. If Indigo decides to continue with these vacancies, you don't stand to lose anything. If
Sir,
they started with the vacancies,
won't they ask me to, like you were selected on the CPL vacancy. You gave the CPL written test, and then everything that happened was CPL based. But now you are a type rated person. So won't they have an issue with that?
well, why should they have an issue? When you sat for the exam, you were a CPL candidate only. You never fudged your details. It is only during this bleak time, this lull time, you decided to do something else. So you went and did your type rating. They should have no
Right.
problem. It's not that you were at 320 type rated, you misled them and you sat for a CPL exam. You didn't do that. No? You can
Right.
always say,
Right.
boss, you had Indigo never told us anything for 7 months. So what were you expecting me to do? So I had to take a call for my own future. I decided to go and do my type rating so that I could apply for, let's say, an Air India. So they'll have
All
no
right.
issues. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, guys. So with that, it's a wrap. Thank you all for joining. And please think about it.
Um, so sorry to cut you
Yes.
off. I wanted to ask about this trainee pilot program, which might get started by Air India. I saw it on their website. So it
Mm-hmm.
says for the eligibility criteria, the only type-rated pilots are allowed. That is 320 and Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no written exam. So how will that vacancy work? There is only technical interview, non-technical interview, and then LOI.
Okay, honestly, I haven't seen this, so I'm not too sure exactly what did you see over there. But if they have given, so are you saying that they have given the or they mentioned all the stages of selection? Have they?
Yeah, they have mentioned. So it's online submission. Then it says non-technical evaluation, which I am assuming it's HR round. And then there is technical evaluation, which is basically technical ground and your sim check. And then they are saying that after undergoing, it doesn't really state, but it says that you will be inducted into AIRIN after a while. So
Okay,
I didn't
so
really understand how this program is gonna work.
so if you have this page opened up in front of you, could you just the first thing you said was you apply, second is non-technical evaluation, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, I was saying if you could just allow me, I would like to just share my screen and open the website because I was really confused how it's gonna work out.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Give me a sec, sir. I'll just open the page.
So till the time like you took the page, I had one question.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So like there is no chance the vacancy is gonna come. Like I'm taking the
Now,
classes only right now. So I'm taking the type rating classes. The batch which was introduced like the last batch. I'm in that batch only, and like when the vacancy like when the classes started, I asked ma'am that if there's any ma'am said that like the vacancy may come out in 2 or 3 months. But after some time, how the things are going on with the airline industry right now, is there no chance it's going to come like this year?
well, I think a short answer is ki there are reasonable chances that they may not come this year. Okay, we're almost more than halfway through. And another 3 days will be exactly 50% of 2025 is already over. Uh, so it's right now it's hanging in a fine balance, 50-50%. Uh, we may not see a vacancy this year, or if at all, at best, if we see a vacancy, my take is it's only going to be in September or afterwards. In the next 2 to 3 months, I don't think any vacancies are coming up.
All right.
Sir, I'm not able to share the screen because it says only host is allowed. So if you can just allow me one.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I can read the entire thing out.
Okay, I made you the co-host, huh? So just try
Okay.
and share your screen now. Shreyas, I think we'll go that way if now also she's unable to share her screen.
Okay, sir.
And you seeing this thing where on the Air India's career section?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so there's a new link for the Air India trainee pilot program on the website.
Sir, is my screen now visible to you guys?
Well, I can't see anything yet. It's okay. I think let me just I'm just removing this co-host thing. Let me try and reach the page myself.
Okay, sir.
So if you don't mind, I can read the entire thing out. I have it open here.
So yeah, please tell me. Yeah.
So after we open the website, there are some steps that we see here. First is online application form and document submission. Aspiring candidates can join the program by submitting online application and ensure that you meet all the eligibility requirements which are mentioned below. Then there's a non-technical evaluation. This stage evaluates ability for behavior and critical aspects, followed by a personal interview to measure your cognitive capabilities, along with ability to collaborate and communicate effectively. The next step
Okay,
is
so
technical evaluation.
mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that she was mentioning of what shall be done here. Technical evaluation. This stage evaluates your skills and abilities in a simulated realistic scenario to demonstrate your decision making, problem solving, and practical application of knowledge in a controlled environment. And then the last step
Okay.
is joining the Air India trainee pilot program. Upon successfully passing all the previous assessments and the pre-employment medical examination, you will earn the opportunity to become a part of Air India trainee pilot program.
All right. Okay. So yeah, okay, I'm also here. So the first one is online application form. So yeah, that is just simply filling up the form. Non-technical evaluation is basically your HR round. Behavior, critical aspects, followed by a PI. So that's basically your HR round only. Why do you want to join Air India? Why only Air India but not IndiGo? Is there anyone else in your family? Who's your motivation? Oh, you're an engineer. Why did you not go into the engineering field? I mean, this kind. We have a dedicated PI, personal interview training course, also available with us at Airship. I mean, it's not dedicated, but it's a part of our 320 or CPL preparatory examination. Okay, so we know what expected questions that they ask you. How does the HR person try and, trap you in a spin, which you need to know how to get out of? Okay, then technical evaluation is, it says the stage evaluates your skills and abilities in a simulated realistic. So this is sim check. Okay, so technical evaluation is your simulator, controlled environment. So here, so far that we see on the website, it doesn't talk about written exam. So yes, so that's now something, like I said, they keep changing their policies or provisions. So with what I see on the screen, I don't think there's any written examination. You just apply as long as you're
Sir,
eligible as per the criteria.
my question is, what do they mean by you're a part of trainee pilot program? I'm already type rated. I am a CPL holder. After the selection process, does that mean they'll send us to the this airline training and then simply just induct us?
No, trainee pilot doesn't mean that you're someone who's learning how to fly. Airline trainee pilot means you're a trainee in that airline on the fleet which you had applied under. So let's say if you're 320 Type-Rated and you clicked on that link, you are a 320 trainee pilot. Now the airline is going to train you. They're not going to do your endorsement again. Don't get it wrong. You're not going to do your 320 endorsement again, but they will do their internal company specific requirements. They may make you do 2 or 3 sessions. Once you're done, you've cleared the CA40 checks, then they'll train you according to their requirements. There are many other sims, your LVTO, your CAT 2, CAT 3, your RHS, I mean, RHS is for captains, your STOL, adverse weather. There are many sessions which they do. So till the time you've done all this, and then you will be doing your SLFs, supervised line flying. Then once you've done your SLFs and you're finally checked out and become a released first officer, till that time you are your grade or the nomenclature which Air India uses is trainee pilot. Okay, it's not that
Okay.
you will be subjected to or altogether a new flying session or 320 endorsement. No, that is not the case here. That's not what they mean.
Okay, sir. Now the
Uh,
program does.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon.
Sir, I am a 737 type-rated pilot. I did my type rating last year in the month of May. And
Mm-hmm.
now, what do you suggest for the 737 type-rated pilots now? Because it's been a worse situation.
Mm-hmm. Uh, when did you do your 737 type rating?
Last year in the month of May.
Well, my dear friend, I know 737 market is not as bright as 320. Uh, so since you are type rated, you might, but yes, there are two big significant orders for 737s as well. So don't be
Yes, sir.
disheartened. Express itself has ordered almost 190 or 200 737 Maxes, and they have been getting their Maxes at a very fast rate. Uh, Akasa has also has ordered around 150 737 Maxes. So you can still decide to hang on to the 737 fleet, and one of these openings is right here. So why don't you apply here and try your luck? Okay.
Okay.
So you should. There is no question of you even thinking of going to 320 when you have a vacancy for 737 out there in the market. So right now there is one. Apply for it, study, revise your books, get into the Boeing philosophy of non-normal checklists and ICAS and all these things. Just go back to that stuff, review your stuff, your FMC, your legs page, and all this. Execute, blah blah blah, and just be ready.
So when can we 737 rated pilots expect a CASA vacancy? Any rough idea?
No, I have no idea. I mean, this is something which no one can tell you. Um, these are very airline specific calls taken by their own senior management. I can only tell you that, which is again a public information, that there are significant number of orders for both Boeings and Airbus. If you are having a lull in vacancies and recruitment right now, this lull is not going to last for long. So just deal with it. Don't sit idle. Keep reading, keep doing some of the other stuff, in the sense you can go on IATA website, do a SMS course, uh, you know, try and do a CRM course, so that tomorrow when you do make the cut in the airline and you're sitting in the PIE and the HR guy or the other people ask you how did you utilize your lull time? You have something to say, that I went and finished my type rating. I was already type rated, so I did a SMS course. Now I'm aware what is the safety management. So do something. When is Akasa going to come up? I have no idea. I think Akasa right now is already having excess of pilots. That is the only thing that I can kind of tell you. They have excess of pilots right now, and the speed at which they were expecting their aircrafts to come, they have not been receiving them at the same speed. So Akasa may just take some time, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, I don't know. But Express has already started. So with this posting which has come up, so Air India Group is hiring for both 320s and 737. That is my take. Okay, guys. All right. So thank you once again to all of you who are here with us, and I hope I've made some sense interacting with you. Looking forward to you all joining Airship at some time. Okay, and all the best for your career, and I'll see you around.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.